Mhm. Yeah, we did just see the Pirates and the Wizards. Pirates ended up winning that 3-2. A series of 5 went all the way to Game 5 to decide the victor for it. Awesome to see. Hopefully, we get a repeat here in the Platinum League as well. Aviators, like you mentioned, up against Pandas. And I think, Jay, I've been told at least that you can cast, broadcast, and chat at the same time. I've never seen it, but I'm ready to see it this time.
Well, apparently I can't hit buttons properly because I was muted for that whole part of my intro, so no problem. Well, I'll be here all week, don't worry.
Huh, okay. It wasn't that important. It was super...
It really wasn't. It really wasn't. It was one of the worst intros you've ever heard, guys. Don't worry, you missed nothing. Guys, don't worry. The audio didn't cut out. I actually forgot to unmute myself. And I swear I pushed the button. I'll even show you guys here. I have an Elgato Stream Deck that I can't get into frame because I literally have not enough cord to do that. And the buttons really don't like to work all the time.
It happens. It happens, but we forgive you.
I'm so tilted. In fact, I'm so tilted I actually broke it. Chib. Okay, good. No, we're back. Okay, you know what? Enough stalling. It'll be Sniper, Eagle Eye, and Night Dog Wolf for the Aviators, Cardinal and Prometheus for the Pandas. Give them the signal to get in here, and we'll just get on our way here before I ruin the broadcast any further.
It's okay. Like we said, it's the worst intro you've never heard. So just be thankful. Whatever. It happens. And finally, we're on to game number 1. Once again, this is a series of 5. The Aviators up against the Pandas in the Platinum League. And a couple of familiar names. Sniper, Eagle Eye, of course. He's been around the scene for a long time. He actually was part of like the original PRL squad when it was still PRLs as like one of the first analysts, which is super cool. Nice to see him expanding his horizons and being a player as well, which is the great thing about MLD. You can suck like me, and I make the Platinum, so I could be in the Platinum League if I really wanted to. So it's nice to see Sniper expand as a player as well. 4:38 on the clock, though, for game number 1. There's Cardinal. Pop one up high, looking for his teammate. Follow through on that play. Prometheus, though, will not be there. Finally, there he is, out towards the corner. It's off the backboard, and Sniper Eagle Eye with a nice clear. Gets the ball towards the right side and falls through as well. Looks for the boost steal. I don't know if he found it. He did find it in the end, so Cardinal a bit lacking on boost, and he can't get that aerial. Prometheus looking for a shot. Night Dog Wolf has an empty net. Sniper there to follow up as well. A simple pass will do. They can't finish it, though.
Needed to speed that play up. Just a little bit slow trying to transition. Had the time to try and get that one across. Just left that pass a little bit too long. Give Cardinal a chance to get back, clear that one away. Still 0-0 as we get through the first minute of play here. Neither team with any real good chances outside of that first one.
Yeah, no actual shots on net registered, and like I said, that first one was the only one that was remotely dangerous. Nothing too scary, though, on either end of the pitch. There's Prometheus, finds the center of the goal, but a save from Sniper Eagle Eye at the goal line keeps his team alive. We'll see if he can push outwards. Cardinal, though, stops the counterattack push, and after a bit of that momentum that Sniper had found off the save, it slid back down as we head towards the midfield. 3:30 left to play. There's Prometheus. Sniper will win it out at the midfield. Cardinal from the corner, struggling to find possession, and Sniper notices that open window. Tries to enter, and then he will be shut down by Prometheus. There's Cardinal at the goal line. A bump right above his own goal. If Sniper or Doc comes racing through, it's Sniper on the ball. He'll bounce it. Goes a bit too high. Doc, though, still on the ball, looks for the near post, and instead it will go wide as we approach the final 3 minutes of game number 1.
Another minute goes by. The Aviators with another really good chance there, but unfortunately for them, can't find the target on that one. Cardinal with that big pop up above his net. There's a huge opportunity for Sniper to put that on. Tried the bounce shot, just got a little bit too much downward momentum on it. Spiked it up over top of the bar. They missed a couple of follow-up cracks on that one. Very evenly matched teams right now, but the Pandas still nothing on offense. They try to work the ball out of their end.
Yeah, most of the pressure that we've seen applied has been from the Aviators onto the Pandas, and that's because Sniper Eagle Eye, we saw him in the midfield as well as in the defensive line, get a couple of quick breaks, push the ball forward, look to capitalize. It didn't work out every single time, but most of the time, Doc Wolf would be there to follow up on the play and look to transition defensive touches into offensive ones. There he is once again, Sniper Eagle Eye over to Doc. Nice 1-2 play. Sniper, though, can't get around quickly enough, and in the end, he'll just rotate back around, pick up his own defensive boost, let the Doc work it out here and the orange side of the pitch. 2 minutes left, and there it is. Yet another minute has gone by, and the story just repeats itself every minute. The Aviators put on pressure. They try Pandas, and Pandas keeps passing the tests because the shots on net aren't hard enough.
Yeah, exactly. They're really not getting the quality on the shots that they need to break down the Pandas, who, if they can't get the ball away effectively, are at least well-positioned to be able to respond to the Aviators as they bring their chances to bear on the net. And that being said, it's really just a matter of time when you invite this much pressure onto your net before something breaks down and you let one go. The Pandas are really going to have to push the Aviators back into their own net and try and force them to make mistakes. Otherwise, they're really just looking for a double commit and a breakaway opportunity for themselves.
Oof, there it is. Doc looking to break away. The far post will not be... will just find it in a goal. And Cardinal, I think he may have helped it there. Not sure. But I could have swore that was hitting the far post, but in the end, it's a goal for the Aviators.
Well, this really breaks down. It was going in anyway. Cardinal really wouldn't have done any difference to that one. But it breaks down when Prometheus puts it hard laterally against the side there. Rather than roll it up or just keep control of it, that front flip pushes it right off the boards and out to center, where his teammate's too far away to try and support.
Cardinal looking to make up for that mistake, and he'll get it tied up 1-1. It was scary for the opening 4 minutes for the Pandas, and suddenly they found their groove on the offensive side.
Yeah, off the kickoff here, very good play by Cardinal. Keeps it under control. A little bit of a chip to get it around the late challenge in that corner, I believe, by Knight, and it just keeps his head, gets it right on the line, puts it in. Very, very good goal. The Pandas needed that one, but they still have that same problem. They're not generating a ton of offense in sequence. It's just one chance, and they have to defend for a while.
The Pandas must know they're a bit lucky, because for the opening 3 minutes, all they were doing was defending, and they somehow didn't get scored on. So that's a bit of luck. It's coming into play. They have to know that, they just barely scraped away from what could have been, 3-1 or a 4-1 scoreline at this point. But thankfully, they're able to tie it up, keep this game close as they approach finally green half of the pitch for, it's been seemingly forever since they've been here. There's a pass from Prometheus looking down for Cardinal. It will not even connect as Sniper stuffs it out, pushes out towards the far post. Prometheus is there though, and he'll get a clear as well as a full tank. There's Prometheus out towards the left side. His teammate Cardinal not there in time. Has to pressure that ball a bit earlier. Donk Wolf had too much time to really think about that ball, and there's Prometheus now back towards the net. We'll go out towards the left side. Night Dog once again with a clear. 15 seconds to go. Next goal will win it surely. There it is. Night Dog setting up for Sniper. They'll miss out. Prometheus on a breakaway. Sniper racing back towards his own net. If Prometheus can find a pass to Cardinal, that could be the game. And there it is. 2-1. The Pandas finally find a perfect pass into a perfect shot. Secure the perfect game one.
Again, though, coming off the counterattack, the Aviators having to struggle right back on defense there. Doesn't take anything away from the play, though. Prometheus just a little tap to find that seam between the two Aviators as they rotate it back on defense, and Cardinal buries that one. The late lead here for the Pandas against the run of play, but it'll be enough to take game one. Really, though, against the run of flow of play.
Yeah, that was really interesting, because I think I said it too. Like, Pandas know they got a bit lucky in the opening 3 minutes, and they needed that, because Aviators had, I think, way too much time with the ball on the orange side of the pitch, and then suddenly the Pandas, they were able to break away in the final minute and a half, and it worked out nicely for them. They kept it close, and they even pulled out a beautiful pass into a shot at the end there.
Yeah, the one interesting thing for me, though, is when you look at the stats for this game, there were 3 shots for each team. 2 from Cardinal, 1 from Prometheus, 2 from Night Dog Wolf, 1 from Sniper Eagle Eye. That tells me that despite all the pressure the Aviators actually had on the Pandas net, they weren't doing anything with that ball. It was just mostly in the corners, kind of going around and cycling throughout at midfield. Now, that'll generate offense over the long term, but you should have seen a much higher shot count than what you did in that game.
Yeah. You nailed it. I mean, it's weird to see that, like, 80% of the time the ball was on the orange side of the pitch, and they tied up in shots for the end. That's a bit weird to see, unusual as well, and that is a clear sign in the form of numbers for the Aviators that, hey, when we push forward, let's actually do something. If it means that we have less time in the orange side of the pitch, but we still put on one more shot, that's totally okay. It's not about how much time you have if you're not doing anything with that time. So maybe the Aviators can switch that mentality moving forward into game 2 after having conceded game 1, because obviously it didn't work. They had time in the orange side of the pitch, didn't do much with it. The opening 30 seconds are gone now as Cardinal looks for a clear. Night Doc with a full tank out towards the left side, finds a surface to himself, looks to pop one downwards, will not find it though. Sniper contesting on the orange side. Doc with a long shot, not enough weight behind it, and he tries to follow it up, but in the end, to no avail. There's a dribble now. Cardinal looking for a pass center. Prometheus set up for that follow through, and in the end, they just couldn't read each other on different pages completely as Doc finds yet another clear, and the pace of play slowed down a little bit. Doc looking to speed it back up, snipe up for a shot towards the far post, covered though by Prometheus.
Really needed to put that shot up into the upper corner there. Prometheus was struggling to come back and try and defend there. The shot by Sniper down low right in the spot that's fairly easy to get to for a defender coming across, especially when they're at a little bit of a stretch to make it there. A little bit better shot selection. I think the Aviators would have had the opening goal there.
Oof. And this time around, the Pandas get the opening goal. Shot selection ended up biting them in the end. Here's Aviators destroyed by a long shot.
Well, a lot of this comes down to Sniper's clear. Goes hard off that sideboard and doesn't catch the part of the angle that would send it upfield like he wanted to. Just comes right out center for Cardinal. Making no mistake, finds that far side. The Aviators bunched up near side to the ball. Just can't do anything about it.
There's Night Duck out towards Sniper. Finally, an aerial play. Nice one on net as well. That one does not go in, but look at how much work Sniper did in a matter of seconds. He put a shot on net and even followed it up with a bump or two. So that's good to see that they're expanding, looking to use more of their toolkit instead of just simple clears from the passes from the corner into shots. Those haven't been working out that much, and they have to lean away a bit from the textbook here. There's Night Duck pushing out for a pass. Sniper though not committing on this play just yet. After that first goal, the Pandas, it seems like they want to go back to where they've been for the entire series. In their own defensive half, look for breakaways and just build off of those.
Yeah, and it feels like that might just come back to bite them eventually, though. The thing is that's working out for them, the Aviators, now that they're having to chase the game and the series a little bit, they're making more mistakes, and that plays into the Pandas' hands with that passive defensive nature, because as long as your opponents are either missing their plays or double committing, it'll give you opportunities in transition to come right back and score the goals to extend that lead out further. That lets you play with that kind of defensive bunker down mentality.
Right, Aviators are already the more aggressive team, and playing from behind, like you said, just forces them to play more aggressive because they can't rely on mistakes from their opponents. They have to be the ones to create opportunities for themselves, and that might mean they're the ones who make mistakes. Night Doc not making a mistake here. The post will help him out as well. He's able to tie it up at 2:07 for Aviators.
If Prometheus just gets caught out, drifting into the corner, watching the ball bounce, you have to decide to go for that ball if you're going to follow it into the corner. Otherwise, you have to stay in net, wait for it to come down, and play the shot follow-up from the opposition. But the second that you drift underneath that ball, you've eliminated any single option you have at playing it further.
And still a similar game overall on the pitch, but the scoreboard's looking much nicer for the Aviators. This time they're not tied, 3-3 on shots. They're actually making use of all the time they have on the orange side. They're up 5 shots to none. Pandas, somehow their one goal did not register as a shot. If you don't remember, it was a Cardinal with a huge shot from way outside, close to the midfield line, looking to make a repeat of it here as he cuts towards the corner, picks up some boost, and Sniper Eagle Eye will clear it out towards his own zone. A risky clear. Doc helps him out. Cardinal once again for a long shot. He likes those, and this time he'll miss out on the opportunity. Minute and 27 seconds left to go. The game all tied up, and Aviators, now that they've tied it up, they can start being aggressive and build on that lead, which they have here, 2-1 for them.
And Cardinal losing this challenge here, I don't mind that. Just has to be a little bit more decisive. Prometheus, though, at that near post, just again drifting too far towards the flight of the ball, goes right over top of him, and then Night Dog Wolf coming through finishes it off with ease. They have to be either decisive to that one or so passive that there's more options to play the ball as it comes across before the opposition gets to it.
Oh, Snipe almost found a breakaway. He's been looking for those all day. Couldn't do it this time, though. There's a pass out to himself. He follows through a double commit. If the Pandas can capitalize here quickly enough, Prometheus plays it out to the left side, and there it is, Prometheus yet again with a breakaway. Finds the first shot of the game, funny enough, for the Pandas, and that's all they need to tie it up.
Yeah, really good job getting on the end of this. When you see Sniper trying to control that into the corner, but he gets the execution wrong, that low hitbox on the Dominus sliding right underneath the ball. It opens up the opportunity for Prometheus to follow it up, put it far side. Really good persistence from the Pandas. They keep themselves in this game with a minute to go, and they only need one to try and find a second win here in the series.
Yeah, they score the next goal, and they put themselves at series point, really, if Aviators continue to struggle to do anything with that time they have on the orange side of the pitch, which has improved for sure in this game. Once again, we talked about it. They've got way more shots, double the shots now that they had last game, and I don't think they've had as much time on the orange pitch, maybe a bit less or the same, so they're definitely working on making their time in the orange side count with shots on net. It's Prometheus, not the best touch. Doc Wolf looking to finish it out. Can't close out the game, though, as it will go off the post. Sniper Eagle Eye for a second shot from out wide. He'll back off, though, and there's Cardinal now looking to dip one towards the midfield line, which he will, and Sniper Eagle Eye now in a breakaway. Once again, we've seen Sniper multiple times find interceptions, find clears from his own defensive half to set up Doc. There's one. It's on net. Will be cleared away. 5 more seconds until that overtime. And until we hit that golden goal, assuming nobody scores here, Prometheus rather, out towards the corner, and that one should hit the ground soon. It will. All tied up, 2-2, Aviators and Pandas in game number 2.
Neither team's been perfect this game, but they've done enough from either side to earn overtime on this one here. You can't really get a sense of which team is going to win this one, because a lot of it's probably going to come down to which team blinks first on defense and makes a mistake. And with both teams having committed mistakes that way, you really couldn't put your money either way, but you know someone's going to win it because we're in golden goal territory.
20 seconds in. So far, nothing scary, but the Aviators are playing like they do in regulation time. Winning the ball in their own defensive corners, winning the ball at the midfield, setting each other up, looking to keep pressure high, and they have to continue to build on that, continue to take shots whenever they have opportunities to do so. There's Prometheus out towards the left side. Loses it out. Sniper Eagle Eye from midfield if he will go for the boomer. Instead, he goes for the dribble. Chips it in. Prometheus there in time. The clear comes through. Dockwolf on the rebound. Finally, that continuous pressure from the Aviators leads to an actual goal, and it's when they need it the most.
And when the Pandas lose control of this ball, Cardinal's traveling back towards his net, gives Sniper enough room to pick that ball up, bring it under control. When he turns, gets flicked, it's not enough power to get across the line as Prometheus came across, but then in desperation with no boost, just could not do anything to get that far enough away from the net, and the Aviators find themselves the winner.
Yeah, a huge increase in just stats for the Aviators. Last game, they tied 3-3, and I think we said it before, it was split 80% of possession for Aviators, 20% for Pandas. The split this time was more 70% Aviators, 30% Pandas, but the Aviators made that 70% count, which is a big improvement for them.
Yeah, 10 shots on goal, 7 of them coming from Knight Doc Wolf. 5 saves out of the Pandas, though, so it's not like those shots were off target and kind of going off the backboard trying to pull players out. Those were on net. They were quality chances, and the Pandas had to stand up to that onslaught. Unfortunately for them, giving the one up in overtime is not the way you win games, because, overtime is kind of where the next goal wins.
Yeah, funny how that works. But in the end, game number 3, once again, you win this game as they're tied up. If you win this game, you get the series point heading, and you put yourself ahead. And we've seen both these teams struggle when they're playing from behind. The Aviators because they double commit and they play too aggressively, and the Pandas because they play too passively and sometimes double commit on the defensive side when they're down. So both these teams really like to play when they're ahead. See who can find it here as the first 30 seconds of game number 3 have elapsed. There's a fight at the midfield line. Doc just plowing through both defensemen. We'll pick up some boost, go to the wall. Look to set one up high for Sniper Eagle Eye, but Sniper has since rotated back out, waiting at the midfield, hoping for an opportunity to strike. There's a pass coming through now. He might be a bit late. If he can get there in time, doesn't even need to. The Doc has got it under control. 1-0 for Aviators.
Yeah, the Pandas break this one down by doing circles in their own corner. No one really playing the ball. Cardinal tried to challenge it, but should have recognized that Knight Doc Wolf still had the ability to flick that up and away before he could have gotten out to challenge that one. Yeah. It put both the players in the corner. It was really just a matter of time before the Aviators picked it up and put it out in front.
Well, we'll see if the Pandas can start breaking away from their passive habits. I think you said it right, in the long run, the Pandas are going to get hurt by that. They sort of scrape away in game 1 by playing that passively, but it's not going to, they can't keep it up for a full 5-game series, and I think they recognize that as you see Prometheus and Cardinal looking for some action on the green side of the pitch. There's Sniper, will back out as he steals away the boost to the midfield. Makes Cardinal, or forces Cardinal to have difficulty pushing forward without that boost. There's Sniper Eagle Eye now, out towards the backboard. Doc is on the ground, goes up a bit too late as Cardinal beats him to the punch there in the air. There's Prometheus looking for a clear. Doc, though, clears it out towards the midfield line. Possession now for Panda. There they are struggling to figure out who should be on the ball, and in the end it's Cardinal. Will take the reins on this play forward. Sniper out from the corner. Can't get the clear. Doc Wolf deciding to pressure this one and push forward, which means Sniper has to come back, sweep around, set himself up as the defenseman, which he does, and now it's Sniper's turn to push forward. And after that, since that first goal, not too much from either side. Doc finally finds another shot. Cardinal, though, easy enough clear from him, and it's back to the Pandas, still looking to find that offensive pressure, which they were not able to find in the opening 2 games.
Ooh, Cardinal, really good attempt there. Just a couple of bounces there, trying to catch it on the drop and turn it back goalward. First touch of his just a little bit too far in front of him, but you're right, Shim. They really need to shift this one into high gear right now. One goal is probably not going to be enough for the Aviators to win this one, but at the same time, they really can't overcommit because the Pandas have been very good about punishing that for the last 2 games in this series. It's kind of a balancing act right now where they really need to extend that lead without trying to give up too much the other way.
Yeah, right. I mean, if the Aviators don't make any mistakes on the offensive side, if they don't double commit, I think 1 goal might be enough. So we'll see if the Pandas start to break away and push into the green side of the pitch and actually create opportunities, because the only way they've ever been scoring maybe par 1 goal that the Pandas have scored, it's all been due to mistakes from the Aviators, specifically on the offensive side of just overcommitting or being in the same place. We're not figuring out who's going to be going for the ball, forcing both players onto the same ball. It's just been taking risks when they haven't really needed to, and that's been the demise of the Aviators so far.
My one biggest criticism back the other side, though, with the Pandas is a lot of it on Prometheus. Just waits a little bit too long to come out for challenges, and that's really what's killing them right now. Again, didn't quite get out to that one in time. Sniper able to respond to that demo by Night Dog Wolf by picking this up. You see that late challenge from Prometheus, just didn't recognize he was beat to that ball. Ends up going in for the challenge, can't get there. Now they have 2 goals to find in 98 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this game is just getting to the ball first, and Prometheus, he has to recognize that he saw his teammate go down. Maybe his teammate sees it before Prometheus does, and Cardinal just says, I'm going down, pressure this ball, because sitting on the goal line is not a good option. And he eventually did pressure, but like you mentioned, he's a couple milliseconds too late to the ball, and Doc secures goal 3. The Aviators just snowballing forward into game 3 of the series.
Yeah, Cardinal backflipping, trying to get back into position on this one. Nothing good ever happens when you travel backwards in a rocket-powered battle car. You can't boost effectively, you can't position yourself effectively, and you travel slower than all the other cars that are pointed towards the ball. If there's ever a time when I would say that I would need to learn to half-flip, it's when I get caught backwards. Because I can't half-flip. Yeah. I really can't. But I also try not to put myself in positions where driving backwards is the only option I have.
As goal 4 comes in, I mean, even if you can't half-flip, even if that's too difficult, a mechanic or something that you don't want to put the time in to learn, it's not super difficult to still just, I don't know, either drift back forward or to just do a very slow version of a half-flip where you just jump, flip your car over. Like, you can do other things other than half-flipping to help yourself have the front of your car facing the ball as opposed to the butt of your car, and that should be a lesson, hopefully, for the Pandas as they put in goal 1. And with the way they've been playing, I don't see them scoring 3 goals in a minute and 5.
Well, if you can get a couple more kickoff goals like that one there, it might go a long way. The CC Snipe, again, backing up into net, trying to get the read on that one, but goes so far back that Cardinals already lofted it goalward. But to touch on our previous point, I don't necessarily feel that learning different mechanical ways to recover in a situation where you're traveling backwards is the key. It's making better decisions overall, which is a tough thing to learn.
Right.
But once you do, the range of mechanics that you learn go a longer way because you understand the decision making and the breadth of decision that goes into understanding when to use mechanics that you have learned.
Right. No need to learn how to correct the error if you just cannot make the error in the first place. So that's for sure. 40 more seconds to go. There's Prometheus out towards the left side. Snipe up. It knows if he puts in goal 5, that could be the end of it. Goes for the double touch. Looking for a play of the week style shot. Will not find it though. 30 seconds remaining. 3 goals to make up for the Pandas. We said kickoff goals would be where they had to take advantage and try to build back this deficit they're facing. It's difficult though, and with the time against them, it will be a very, very difficult deficit to build back. But hey, they did secure the game 1 victory, and they're not out of it yet. They still have a chance to come back into the series, and all this does is put Aviators 1 game closer to winning it overall. And the Pandas, they still have hope.
Well, they'll have hope if their opponents keep putting balls in their own net like that. But a little bit earlier on in the game is Night Dog Wolf. I don't know why he's up for playing this one. There's no reason to have to play that ball, especially straight into his own net, but the Pandas will take it. They will never complain about that one at all, despite the fact that there's only 2 seconds left and they're probably still going to lose the game. That being said, if that turns into a trend, Chim, probably a sign of something going wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's either something going wrong or Aviators saying, let's just give them a goal because we're nice people, right? It's 1 of 2. Hopefully it's the second one, because if you start building a trend of scoring on yourself or losing confidence in your teammate's ability and trying to sort of make up for mistakes that he hasn't even made yet, that's when the Aviators can start getting into trouble. Hopefully they don't, as we head into game number 4, which could be the decisive game. Game number 4 could be the victory for Pandas, for Aviators in the series.
Could be. I mean, they still have a chance to extend it out 4-1. Sets of 5 is always an MLD regular season, just to make sure that everybody's stats are all nice and uniform across the board, and everybody's got a nice win-loss record at the end of it. The tiebreakers are nice and easy. But it's always an important game when you go up 2-1 in the series, and you have a chance to make sure that that last game is nothing but a dead rubber. But it really just boils down to continuing to execute on the things that they do. And they always say, especially in a best of, the last win, always the hardest one to get because you kind of switch off just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, when players talk about reverse sweeps, and I don't know, like a long time ago, Quinn Lobdell was like in an interview and his team was known for reverse sweeping. He said, it's really not that much on us. I mean, it is, but it's like a 50-50 split. The other team, the closer and closer they get to that one more game, that just one more mentality, the easier it is for them to lose it. So if Pandas can take advantage of Aviators maybe falling into that just one more game mentality, they can take advantage and push forward and, who knows, maybe find a Game 4 or Game 5 victory, keep the series close. And like Jay mentioned, we will be seeing all 5 games, but there's still a series victor. After all, it is a best of 5. And this game victory will give Aviators the victory overall in the series, but Cardinal and Prometheus, wow, can still fight to keep it close. 4:05 on the clock, and so far, Sniper Eagle Eye has not found the first shot of the game like he usually does. It's actually been the Pandas with Cardinal opening up the scoreline in that statistic. Snipe up, out towards the right side. To follow up, pick up some boosts as well. Actually decides to play off the ball. Maybe he was looking for a demo or something, but decided that wasn't the ball he wants the pressure on. There's a shot towards net for the Doc. He won't get it. Sniper Eagle Eye back towards the near post. It's popped out in front of the goal line. 3:35 to go. Finally, Sniper getting back into his usual rhythm with Night Doc Wolf, as they are the ones who like to be on the orange side of the pitch. They're the ones who like to put shots on net. There's a full tank of boost picked up now by the Doc, and he'll pop one up. Prometheus is there, out towards the penalty box. Sniper with a long shot towards net. Cardinal gets met by Sniper, and Prometheus thankfully is there to help out his team. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Aviators still struggling to find that opening goal that they like to find and they like to build on.
Exactly. They really just need to try and break this one down. But to be honest, the Pandas are doing a much better job imposing themselves in the midfield, forcing the Aviators to play out of their own end, which is something that they didn't do very early on in the series here. It's probably going to go a long way, but they have to make sure that they keep the ball in their possession and they don't let the Aviators counter once they push further up.
We'll see if they can do that. 2 minutes and 40 to go. There's Sniper struggling to find any kind of pressure as he gets boxed in by the defenseman. There's Sniper back on the ball. Can't get the touch inside, and that puts him a bit out of position. Thankfully, though, he has some boost to get back into net with. There's a close shot. Sniper, though, with a clear, and he follows it up himself as well. Out towards the right side. Cardinal now backing up, looking to hold on to possession, trying to figure out what he wants to do with it. Instead, he loses it. A pinch shot on net, and the defenseman can't get there in time. Aviators find a goal out from the wing.
Unfortunately, Cardinal spent too long trying to bring that ball under control, gave himself a big opening for Night Dog Wolf to leap in, take that 50-50. Both the Pandas just get pulled way out of position on that. Night Dog Wolf off the pinch into the net. That's going to be hard for the Pandas to come back from if they can't get this ball upfield.
There's Doc out towards the orange side. He'll have to follow up, and thankfully Will gets it off the bounce, knows that's when he can get the most weight on the ball, can get the pace quick. There's Sniper Eagle out towards the corner, follows up. If he can follow up and get a pass to his teammate, it could work out. There's Night Dog Wolf waiting outside the box, looking for the rebound, does not get it. And this is the one chance Pandas has had in a while of breaking away, and they can't take advantage of it. There's Night Dog Wolf now towards the right wing. Plays one up to himself, and both defenders are there at the goal line, ready to make the save. Now Prometheus losing out to Sniper Eagle Eye. Sniper on the follow-up. Out towards the far post, finishes it up for himself as well. Aviators up 2-0.
Again, the Pandas caught dallying with the ball in their corner there. Sniper really aggressive to that one. Cardinal, again, too tight to the near post. It's very difficult to defend the near corner at that near post because you have such a low amount of reaction time available to respond to any touch as it comes towards your net.
Minute and 27 seconds to go, and we said the Pandas are a very passive team, very reactionary. They rely on double commits from Aviators. And then in this game, in this important game 4, we haven't seen so many. We said, will the Aviators fall into the just one more game mentality? Not so much. They're actually playing better than they ever have as Sniper secures goal number 3. Just look at the scoreline. They're destroying, it seems, Pandas in this game 4.
Again, the Pandas just get caught a little bit too flat in their own end. Cardinal could have gotten out a little bit faster to challenge that ball at midfield. Prometheus could have also come out and challenged that ball as it came in towards the backboard. It's difficult sometimes, especially at the Platinum levels, where you get stuck in this habit of having to wait and watch the ball come down into a spot that you're more comfortable reading. And that's really just experience and time spent in-game, understanding what the ball's going to do on a more regular basis.
Yeah, for sure. Snipe understands that. Bounces, looking to follow up on it. Try to beat 2 defensemen. Beats 1.5, we'll say. He almost beat the second one. 48 seconds to go in this decisive game number 4. There's Night Doc Wolf throwing one towards the net. Tries his luck from afar and comes out unlucky, but hey, he's up through his area. He can afford to take longer shots and just bait out defensemen, force them to make clears. And if he can turn this game into just a game of exchanging clears, his team has the game in the bag. And Pandas, as we said, they're a very passive team. Can they break out of this passive shell in the last 24 seconds of this game? It's going to be very important. The answer is looking like it's going to be no, though, as Sniper Eagle Eye should secure goal number 4. Can't do it. Maybe he can follow up here. Yes, he will. Secures goal 4. Aviators, no doubt, have won the series, and Pandas already have to look towards Game 5. What can they learn, Jay, from this Game 4 specifically, heading into Game 5 to keep the set close?
I think what they just need to do is take the shackles off. Throw all reservation to the wind and go after the ball. As long as one player is in a position to recover from the next player in line missing, they'll probably be fine. But the aggressiveness has to come up, because if they don't start contesting balls when they need to, they're going to continue to give up easy opportunities.
Well, there you have it. Contest balls when you need to. Take the shackles off. Those are the tips from Jay. We'll see if the Pandas agree with you. I know I do. So heading into Game 5, it's very important for the Pandas. Because naturally you'd much rather go down 3-2 than 4-1. That is simple mathematics. If you don't understand that, get an abacus and a book and figure out how to do maths. But maths will come later. Right now we're heading to game number 5. The Aviators, we saw them struggle in game 1, right? We said they had so much time with the ball on the offensive side, they couldn't score. Games 2, 3, and 4, it's just been up and up. They've had more time on the pitch and more shots on net.
I mean, the Pandas limited to a single shot on goal that entire 4th game. That should just tell you how far back into their shell that they went on that game. They were just under siege. And this time, unlike games 1 and 2, they had no answer to try and bring it up. They just need to let go. They need to stop gripping the controller so tightly. There's nothing left. You've already lost the series at this point. There's nothing stopping you from just going out there and giving everything you have to try and get that 5th game into a 2 on your side instead of a 4 for your opposition.
Yeah, I mean, the worst that can happen is that it doesn't work, but at least you've tried it out, right? So the longer you wait to try out new things, the longer you'll have to wait until you know if they work or not. So just try them out now in situations like this where you don't have as much to lose. Sniper Eagle Eye putting in the opening goal of game number 5. The Aviators will be happy with taking a 4-1 win.
This is a big mistake from the Pandas. Cardinal's already in the corner fighting for the ball. Prometheus cheats out, goes for boost, and puts himself in the exact same spot his teammate is in, leaving a wide open angle for Sniper to get to. Prometheus realizes that, tries to challenge, but he's now at the wrong angle and just puts it straight into his own net.
I mean, it is, I think, easy for the Pandas to become disheartened at this point. They have, as you said, lost the series, but it's a series of 5, not a best of 5 for a reason. This is where Pandas can come out and show us what they're made of. Keep this close, because again, a 3-2 is totally fine. It looks much better than a 4-1. There's Night Doc Wolf looking to cut inside.
I was gonna say, it's exactly the point there, but my one big thing for me right now is, again, I touched on it a couple games ago with Prometheus just kind of being the one that's a little bit guilty of everything right now. And talking about it on the first goal here, you can still see that he's just kind of not in the places he needs to be successful to get this ball upfield.
I mean, that is on Prometheus, but Cardinal can help out as well, right? That's what teammates are for. Cardinal can call out pressure. A simple word like that is enough to get his teammate Prometheus, who might be a bit hesitant, to push forward and force him to be more aggressive. It is a team effort, but Prometheus, if he can work on not hesitating as much, it might help out. No hesitation there from Sniper Eagle Eye as he scopes in, finds the perfect no scope onto the net. 2-0 at the 3:43.
Yeah, both Pandas drifting up the backboard there, neither one of them calling the other one off. Again, committing to the same spot on the pitch. It's very, very difficult to try and defend when you have no coverage for something that you just can't react to because your teammate's right next to you.
Half the game gone in game number 5. Not half the game, sorry. This is 3:30, not 2:30. I have to do math. 1 minute and 30 seconds gone so far in this game. And the Aviators up 2-0. We haven't seen them pick up a lead this quickly since, I don't think, game number 3 or something. And now it's 3-0 as we approach the 3-minute mark. The Aviators pulling away, and we said the Pandas could fall into a negative state of mind, and it seems they have.
And unfortunately, just really struggling right now with settling down and trying to go back to the fundamentals. It's hard when you've been losing the rest of the series. You got game 1 in a really good fashion. The problem is the adjustments that you made in game 2 just weren't quite enough in the direction that you needed to go to be able to actually finish off winning the series.
I mean, Pandas go back to get the game 1 VOD, say what worked for us, A, B, and C, and then go to game 2 and see what did Aviators do that made A, B, and C not work anymore. And that pretty much is Aviators. They no longer cared as much about the time they had on the orange side so much as what they were doing with the time they had. And look at this, they have so much time and they're actually doing things. 4 shots in the back of the net out of the 6 they've taken.
Yeah, the Pandas, though, just giving up so much space in their own end. It's kind of what we're talking about in game 1, Shim, where they've fallen into the defensive shell and they're weathering the storm. But they've fallen back so far that they aren't offering up any resistance at this point to what the Aviators are putting on.
Yeah, and I mean, the further you fall back into that shell, the harder it is to come out of it. It's difficult to break out of that shell in just a matter of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You see some teams take a full game or even a full 2 games before they start expanding. Even higher level teams at the RLCS, RLRS, whatever level, it still takes time. And with 2 minutes and 23 seconds to go, it is a difficult ask of the Pandas. But once again, we've seen miracles happen on Farmstead. Who knows? Maybe we'll see one tonight. There is Sniper Eagle Eye looking for goal 5. Will not find it. Doc Wolf out towards the left side of the pitch. Sniper to follow up on it. Pomps it out. Looks for a second touch. Actually doesn't. Just kidding. He decides to back away. He's up 4-0. No need to double commit because at this point, it is the Aviators' game to lose here. They're up by 4. They're the ones who can choose to double commit. And if they do, then they might start facing a goal after goal from the Pandas.
Really, all they need to do right now is just wait at midfield, let the Pandas try to bring it out, and with the way that the Pandas have been struggling with ball control and positioning, one good 50-50 at midfield is really all that the Aviators need to do to put it back into the orange half and put that pressure right back onto their opposition.
Yeah, and they found a couple of those so far, and like we mentioned before, their shooting percentage is looking nice. They're above 50. 4 out of 7 have gone in so far. Sniper picking up a hat trick for himself. Aviator Knight Doc Wolf looking to get up to his teammate, maybe find a hat trick for himself as well, as they are celebrating at this point in game 5.
Yeah, 5 of 8 now for the shooting percentages. Night Doc Wolf puts that one in clean out of the corner. The Pandas probably going to look back on this one and just lament how passive they played all series long. If they could have stepped up their pressure, if they could have really put the screws to the Aviators early on and maybe made them a little bit less comfortable with the ball, might have gone a little bit longer and a little bit further in pulling them back into this series.
Well, like we said, it's up to Pandas. Go back, check out the VOD. Don't take this as a we suck experience, but as a we can improve experience. That's what you have to come away with from it. And the Aviators, they're building up 6-0, and they should go back and look at game 1. I think both these teams' game 1 was the most important one to look back on, not only because that was the one game that Pandas won, but also because it, I think, tells you the exact story of how the rest of the game was going to shape out. We saw patterns start to emerge that just excelled and polarized in game number 5, for example. We saw the Aviators with a lot of time on the orange side of the pitch. We saw the Pandas struggling to find any kind of pressure. We saw them getting back to their own shell, and that's just polarized completely as we get to the end of game 5 here. So look at that game 1, see where the pattern started, and see how you can keep those patterns from ever even starting. And the Aviators, they're celebrating as they score goal 7.
And Cardinal Heroics there to try and get it away was upside down, couldn't get any velocity away. And Prometheus just a little bit late, misses a challenge. Night Doc Wolf going past him to get us 1 goal for the Pandas away from a trip to South America. But honestly, Chim, just haven't seen enough of them with the ball this game to have any hope of a free trip to Rio.
I want them to get it.
I stand corrected!
There it is. They're going to get it. Get ready for Bossa Nova, for the Samba, and for all the fun things that comes with Rio, including that big old Jesus statue. 7-1 for Aviators. But hey, Jay, at least we saw one silver lining throughout this whole series.
We did. We got the meme. The 7-1 scoreline is on. But again, it's really just a matter of aggression, I think, for the Pandas there. A lot of the opportunities given up were either too far in one direction on the aggressive meter, or too far in the other direction where they just didn't go far enough to try and challenge the ball effectively.
The dream? Almost. Goal number 2 won't go in. We'll stay in Rio because, hey, why not? No need to explore the rest of South America. Argentina and all the rest of those stupid little countries can bug off because Brazil is the place to be right now. 7-1 is the scoreline for game number 5, and the Aviators, after going down in game 1, secure 4 straight games in a row. No doubt will help them out in the standings overall in the Platinum League, and congrats to them. Pandas, thank you for playing, and once again, take this as a learning experience, not as an experience to just beat on yourself.
Exactly. The one thing that the Pandas have in their corner is Cardinal as their captain, now in his 3rd season as the Pandas captain, has always taken losses like that on the chin and really taken them as learning experiences to continue to improve. We saw last season they actually made the playoffs on the back of some stellar play out of then known as Much Beast, now known as the RL Rye, and really just, I don't think, found a way to replace him on the roster after last season. And I feel like that's a big reason why Cardinal's been struggling a bit this season individually, because he doesn't seem to have that same kind of experienced player to learn off of directly working with him.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough when you lose a player that you've been good with and suddenly you have to find somebody to fill in that spot. It does take time. Hopefully Cardinal can find that player. Maybe he'll even find it in his current teammate, Prometheus. So who knows? We'll see. But again, thank you to both the teams, and hopefully we get to see more of these two. And the big thing for me next week or in the weeks following is to look at Pandas and see how they've improved. Because one of the best things to do, like in general, not just in Rocket League, is to look back at how you sucked like a month ago and say, look at how much I've improved. And hopefully the Pandas can look back at this week and say, that wasn't our best, but this week is our best moving forward in the league.
Exactly. And as we say goodbye to Chimblade for the night as he goes off into this fair night, big shout out to our sponsors as always. Balls Guarana sponsoring the MLD Play of the Week. Clip your favorite plays, send them to the Twitter at MLDoubles with the hashtag MLDPOTW to submit them for consideration for the Play of the Week presented by Balls Guarana. Winner each week receiving a case of Balls Energy Soda. Get your case with free shipping. Code MLD at ballsbawls.com and Arctic Cooling as well. Big thanks to them. You can check them out at arctic.ac for all your PC cooling needs. When we come back, it's a return to the Champion League as we get set for the final match of primetime Saturday night. It'll be the Spartans of the Storm Division up against everybody's favorite Antarctic animal. It's the puffins. Actually, they're in Ireland too, so I guess everybody's favorite cold weather animal, the puffins, as Cloud Fuel takes to the pitch for the 2nd week in a row. Stay put, guys. We'll be right back here on the MLE Network.